to In the Hot Seat. I'm Meg Muir, and it's great to be with you. So, what is going on in the world of climate technology solutions? We have a very special guest with us. Joining us in the hot seat today is Lori Dunn. Lori is the Chief Operating Officer at Optimist Technologies. Lori, thanks for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Meg.
Yeah, absolutely. So did a little research and really impressed with your background, certainly an extensive background in both energy and also technology. Maybe give the audience a little bit of overview of your background and also share more about Optimus and the work you're doing there.
Sure. I'm a climate tech nerd. I love anything that can decarbonize. And a lot of times I say I like the non-sexy stuff. So give me a dirty old building that no one's going to tear down. We just need to decarbonate. I want to figure out how a better building management system can work in there. And now I'm in trucking, which I'm like, yeah, give me that big dirty one. I want that big dirty tractor trailer driving down the road. And let's find the best way to keep it running, keep it nice, big, dirty, doing what we need it to do. But there's no reason that the dirty has to correlate with carbon. There's a way to decarbonize that. So that's what brought me here, was really, I found a solution, a founder who had a vision, and then a team that was here really solving the problem that we see in heavy duty transportation. I was like, put me in, coach. Just put me in. Let's do this.
That's
and
amazing,
I just, it's so fun. Trucking's really fun. I had no idea how fun it was, but I've been here about a year and a half, and I got to tell you, it's just been a really fun ride. Truckers are amazing. Fleet managers are so much fun to be around, and the teams that support them. It's been a really fun year getting to learn everything about trucks.
Well, and we have plenty big, dirty trucks on the road. So
we've got quite a few.
Yeah, we do.
Yep, we've got quite a few.
We're bringing sexy back to trucking here, Lori.
I will say, I said I'd like the non-sexy, but post COVID times, and we'll talk about the crux of when everything was shut down. I guess we're still in it, but post the initial spin, everybody realized how important trucking was, and trucking is a little sexy. I went to one trade show and I was like, oh my God, look how fancy. It was this really fancy, all these people in tuxedos and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, trucking's fancy now. I get it.
We've
not
got
as dirty as I thought. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, really interested to dive deeper and unpack together today. Tell us a little bit more about Optimist Technologies and what you're doing and striving to accomplish over there.
Sure. We decarbonize big trucks. We allow you to operate with your same diesel engine. And we just, instead of putting the forefront on using petroleum diesel fuel, we're trying to flip that. The forefront should be a renewable fuel. So we use 100% biodiesel, and we enable this dual fuel system. So it continues that operational reliability, but it's better for you in cold weather. It's better for your engine. You're doing half as often with the regens. You're able to help your local community, because that's the farmers there that are working. We're able to use their waste product. We're use cooking oil, animal fats and tallows, all of these byproducts. So we're really increasing that circular economy and allowing your full scope of emissions to be the most reduced possible and keep you reliable on the road. And the real kicker, the real reason why I jumped over here instead of staying in buildings, was it's possible today. This isn't in 2 years, we'll get there. That we just shipped our 500th unit, and we're going to hit that 1,000 faster than you can believe. We are ready to go right now. And so I needed to do something that really impacted now. That climate part of me was like, you've got it. Let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah, that's amazing. And ESG, right? So prevalent in our space, certainly today. So decarbonization, you talked a little bit about it and what your organization is doing, but talk to us about timing. Why do something now sooner rather than later? Why is that important?
Oh, I like trees. And I like, I do. I like trees. I love the ocean. I love hiking with my dog. I love, going to a park for a lunch. I like being able to walk outside and be able to breathe air.
Absolutely.
I would love if our kids in schools, not as many had to have as much asthma.
Absolutely.
Right now we're in this transformational decade where we can either choose to do something or have something happen to us. And I deeply believe if we all put our efforts together, the solutions are out there right now.
Sure.
They're all there. There are many studies, many very smarter than me people have determined of all the available solutions. If people
Mm-hmm.
just took action on them, we actually have every solution available to us today, but we only have a couple more years until we hit that official 1.5 degrees Celsius of change. And that's what we're
Sure.
all fighting against. It's happening right now. Now, we can go the scary route and say it's looking like it'll probably happen, and we can freak out and get scared and give up. But I prefer the other pivot. And
Yeah.
I prefer that, let's say, even if we did pass 1.5, right? Let's not get in a fight about that. I still think we can possibly make it, but let's assume we do. Every tenth of a degree is
Mm-hmm.
still very meaningful for some change we could make. So if unfortunately in 3-4 years we hit that 1.5, if the efforts we did today, if people took action today, focused on available solutions, put the CapEx or OpEx, whatever they had that in their power, and they
Right.
moved it towards a climate solution, if that helped us stop from hitting 1.7 and we were only at 1.6, that's
Mm-hmm.
really meaningful for our globe and for the future of our society. So
Yeah.
it's really important to be able to do something now.
Yeah, no, I think that's very insightful. I'm, really interested just from an executive perspective. If you're on an executive team and you're at a transportation company and you're going through your annual strategic planning process, talk to me a little bit about, okay, we have this idea that we want to decarbonize a percentage of our fleet. How easy is it to kind of begin the process all the way through implementing the process? Talk to me a little bit about the ease of the
Sure.
partnership and how to get started.
Yeah. Oh, there's all sorts of things to do. So it's important. Really appreciate Here for Optimists into it. We will get there. There's other stuff you can do right now. If you're
Okay,
saying I'm really scared, truck flaps, right? Get more aerodynamic running down the road. Make
sure.
sure that your servicing is up to date, right?
Uh-huh.
Don't delay. Make sure those service things are happening on time. So
Yep.
we're not, it's all the things we know we need to do. We just need
Sure.
to do them in a timely manner, because if we get those pieces on time, there's little pieces we can add. And then when you're saying, hey, no, we're trying to decarbonize by 30% by 2025 or by 50, something like that. That's when
Yep.
you want to tap in a provider, someone like Optimus. There
Okay.
are many options. I know everyone knows all about EVs, right?
Mhm.
Everyone's been talking
Sure.
about EVs. It's very exciting. There's a lot of federal, local government funding as well going
Mhm.
towards that. And we have the hydrogen side, which is again awesome. Not as far advanced as the EV side, but still very fun and new. And there's a lot of other solutions of different renewable fuel sources, just using renewable diesel. Straight up pumping that in. Everyone in California is having a really good time saying, great, it's a drop in
Mhm.
fuel. We can run that. And
Sure.
then when you continue on, you think, what's the total operating cost of that? And that's where Optimus comes in. That's
Okay.
where you have your asset, you have your standard asset as is, right?
Mhm.
We're adding, say, about $30,000. We add that on top. You keep your same asset, you keep your same driver, you keep
Mhm.
your same mechanics,
Okay.
and you're just pumping a secondary fuel in, and you keep operating. So
Mhm.
while we're waiting for some of these other solutions to come on,
Mhm.
this and be able to get to that level of prominence that they're reliable, trustworthy, and at a cost that we can stomach. This is where you can do something now, and it's
Sure.
using full supply that's available today. If you go
Mhm.
to any of the large travel centers, they've got three 20,000 gallons petroleum diesel there. They also have a
Mhm.
20,000 gallon B100 tank under there,
Mm.
because anyone who's getting a blend B5 up to B20,
Mhm.
that's being blended underground. How great would that be if so many more people had the Optimus vector system on it? And then
Mm.
instead of blending, we just went straight right up. All we need is that one lane, and then you can really start flowing. So
Yeah.
most of our customers to date do refuel back at base, but a few over the road solutions are actually coming out this quarter that you're
Oh,
going to start seeing online. It's really fun because it's already
that's really
there.
neat.
Like it's
Right.
that's
It's
that's the
here.
key of
And
Optimus.
yeah.
We're here.
Sure,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that it's tangible and it's integrated into your current or existing fleet. I
Yep.
know that's an ease of doing business that you mentioned the mechanics coming from the trucking side. That
Sure.
was always one of the
Yep.
first concerns is just the labor, right? How are we going to
Yeah.
make sure that we can PMs and all the maintenance needs that you
Yeah.
just mentioned? So
Like,
um,
how do we do it? It's like,
exactly,
well,
yeah,
instead of trying to break the whole system and try
sure,
to build something new and expect it to happen now in the next, like I said, a couple of years, climate wise, like we only have a couple of years.
yeah,
What if we used what you already had? And what if we use fuel, right? This is stuff we already had that would otherwise
sure.
be trash. And we're our partners are creating this fuel.
Uh-huh.
We are putting a little bolt-on upgrade, and we're allowing you to use this waste product in here, and you keep everything else the same. It's the ease of that that's where I get excited about Optimus, because and people want to think it's a stepping stone, fine, think of that. I don't think a world that was built on the diesel engine, trains, planes, automobiles, all of our heavy machinery, I don't think that's going away in the next 10 years.
Right. Sure.
But what I do think we should do is pivot from petroleum diesel being what you think of when people say diesel. You should actually think a renewable source. You should think biodiesel. You should think an alternative kind of fuel. And petroleum diesel is actually going to be more of the afterthought moving forward.
Wow. So talk to me a little bit about, just coming from the trucking space, of course, you've got a lot of different positions, and the fleet manager is always one that is really interesting in terms of how it connects to decarbonization, right? Because the fleet managers are usually, I mean, and they're usually, it always blows my mind whenever you look at the desk of a fleet manager, right? Because they're usually juggling, anywhere from 35 to 50 drivers at a time. They've got a lot of different balls in the air at all times, but they're also one of the direct routes to how we optimize better, right? How do we optimize our fleet better? And so this connection to decarbonization is really interesting. I know we were talking before the interview began about that really being not only a challenging job, but a pretty thankless job as well. Maybe talk to us a little bit about the fleet managers and what you see for the fleet managers coming up in 2024.
For sure. Thankless job is for sure, because the fleet manager, let's talk a public entity. So DC Public Works is a big customer of ours. Let's talk about them.
Okay.
If your trash isn't picked up, if your snow isn't plowed, if your bus doesn't come grab you on time, right? Transporting our people around, you jump right on Twitter, you jump on anywhere, and you say what went wrong. You're calling and you're saying, why isn't this happening? But when the bus is there on time, when you wake up and the snow is plowed, when your trash is picked up on time, nobody says thank you.
That's right.
Nobody's like, great. Right. It is a thankless job, because when you do a good job, everyone says, yeah, you should do that. And when a hiccup happens, you are now the bad guy. It's like, you poor folks. And then let's flip it on the private side. Let's say, like, when I place an order online, I don't care how unreasonable I am. This is where my little goldfish brain goes. I make an order, I set it down, and I'm like, where is it? Like, not even drones can get there that fast. I just assume that it should be there that fast. And then you're talking about, I mean, the gallons, not even gallons, the buckets of Cheetos that I consume. If those aren't at my doorstep when I want them, like, I'm like, hey, where is it? But also, this is where we talk about the ESG and like the difficulty here. I'm not going to pay a penny more for that bag of Cheetos, because we as humans, we are unreasonable humans, and fleet managers unfortunately get to bear the brunt of that. It is thankless, and we're saying, I want it now, and I want it the same price. And so this is where the thankless part comes in, when we add the climate layer, because now there are so many solutions, right? I just layered off, I don't know, 5 or 6 just without even thinking of the climate options in heavy duty fleets alone. If fleet managers are not doing anything about it, people are like, why aren't you doing anything? You don't care about the environment. And now they're bad again. I really feel for fleet managers, because they have to keep everyone safe on the road, the vehicles operating well. And now we're adding this other layer. And when I mentioned some of the other solutions, oh God, I hope people are testing out the hydrogen. I hope they're testing out the EV. I hope they're testing out every other option, because again, I'm climate, and we do believe in all of these other solutions. But when, like, what if things that you could do right now, do them right now? Private fleets, you can go over 400 miles over the road. Talk to me. Why are you talking the other solutions? Do that for last mile. They're not ready yet. If I need my snowplow running. If you know something isn't ready for cold weather, don't talk about them. Talk about us. But when DC is doing their meter-made vehicles, those are EVs. Rock on. This comes back to thankless job. Now a fleet manager who had all the people, all the mechanics, now they also have to handle 5 to 6 different solutions in one fleet. They're just really getting hit over the head with solutions and a lot of opinions from people on what they could and should be doing. And I usually, when I meet a fleet manager, if I'm going to show, and I meet people on the back end, once you see a fleet manager, the first thing is thank you. I don't know if anyone's told you this in a while, but thank you for all you're doing.
No, I think that's great. Same with the truck driver, right? I mean, I'm always amazed by, we just are off for the holidays, right? Or, you're driving down the road and
they're driving.
Yeah, they're driving, right? And it's again a thankless job, and you always want to thank a trucker too. So, no,
Always thank a trucker. That was what
yeah,
our company did actually for our holiday card this year. I looked up and we did, there's a few nonprofits that help
uh-huh.
truckers around the Christmas time. We're
Oh,
like, we're
great,
donating on behalf of everyone. This is what we're doing. Cause like
very
these
cool.
are, there are people, we need to focus there. So that was the Optimist holiday gift this time
I love that.
to
Yeah, that's a
all of our
wonderful way to give
buddies.
back. Yeah, good.
Yeah, because thankless, right? Everyone's
It is.
unfortunately in a thankless place. God bless them.
Yeah. Now, well, talk to me a little bit about technology. I mean, so what a neat product offering that you have, but I'm really curious to hear your thoughts and perspective around how does technology tie into everything that you're talking about?
Sure.
Primarily from a measurement perspective, but just curious of any of the technology that touches your space.
There's so much technology here. There's so much. There's, all of any kind of management system that's on the vehicle. There's the way we talk to the drivers there. There's the way that we actually talk to our fleet managers and they're back at their
Okay.
desk and understanding where their vehicles are moving
Sure.
around. On top of the physical technology, like you can't use or shouldn't use anything over a B20 blend in a standard engine. And my team has developed, patented, and is running B100 through a standard engine. Talk about like wow, like truly,
Sure.
like when you see, most times I talk to people, I say, oh yeah, biodiesel, and they go, oh, we don't use B20. I was like, no, I'm using B100. They're like, what, how? And
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, I know, right? I know it's different. There's a way to use honestly a lot of grit and a lot of
Mm,
elbow grease, and our team put it together. Our founder began this in 2010. Co-founder
okay.
joined a few years later, and they've just been working tirelessly getting
Wow.
it up and ready to go. In 2018 hit commercialization, and we're just really lucky to see this technology kind of flourish.
Sure.
DC Public Works, DC Water, DC DOT, you can see that there starting in 2018 and just rapidly expanding. And it's
Great.
because they have access to their vehicles, they can use the fuel smart in a very smart way,
Hmm.
and they're able to help their constituents. We mentioned earlier, like, I want clean air,
Yes.
I want trees, I want that. And
Right.
DC is able to say, hey, we're doing something now. We're not waiting for anything, but we're able to take action. So um,
Yeah.
on a technology side, again, I always come back to the person. I just hold my heart a little bit, like
Sure.
love me a fleet manager, but it's the technology has enabled us to do something that helps our communities be in a better standing, but it also keeps that reliability. When we
Yeah.
mentioned like the cold, we want to talk technology. There's no other solution right now that in severe cold weather can
Hmm.
stand up and keep you running while decarbonizing.
Hmm.
So you bet in DC, oh my goodness, there's many other customers I could mention. I'm just sticking to them right now. But
Yeah.
if there's a snow right now, we're about to have a big storm this weekend.
Hmm.
And if
Sure.
Miss Johnson slips down the steps while she's, out shoveling snow and the ambulance can't get to her, that's a problem. We can't
Right.
risk it on a solution for an emergency vehicle like that. So you
Yeah.
need something that works. And that's where technologically we've been able to take a fuel that isn't built to be plug and play. And we've enabled that so you can get it fast and running and keep people safe.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, and to think about all the different types of verticals you can touch. I mean, you've hit on a few already, but even in the over the road trucking space, I have a background in reefer freight, and so I immediately think of APUs and the connection there. It's really interesting to think
Yeah.
about all of the different modes in which you'd be able to influence with
Yeah.
your organization.
Oh yeah, just give me a big dirty diesel engine. Let's figure it out. My engineering team, they are so smart. Every time I
Oh,
walk through the office and I see what they're building, I'm like, I don't understand what that is. This is great. you
how
know.
neat!
And
Yeah,
they're moving engines around and showing me what they're putting in this way and how this is going to
sure.
wrap around and it'll be more efficient. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Keep it up. And they're like, do you want to learn? I'm like, I can't. I don't know what that is.
But thanks.
Don't give me
Keep
your
doing your
mouse.
thing.
Keep going. Yeah. Like, who are we
uh,
talking to today? And we have a few different kinds of assets that we run on
okay.
different applications. Like, let's talk
Sure.
about mining equipment. Let's talk about others that this application, this technology can actually help. All of these big diesel engines that built our civilization as we know it.
Sure.
There's a way to keep those engines running but have them be clean. So it's a fun problem that our team is collectively solving. Just grateful to
Yeah.
be one of them.
That's amazing. Love what you're building. How would our audience be able to get in touch with you, Lori, or your team?
Our team, optimisttech.com, is our website. And you
Perfect.
can find us on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great way. I talk too much on LinkedIn, so you'll see a lot about Optimus and our growing team. We closed a funding round last year, and we are utilizing that capital well. We're adding a lot more customers and a lot more fueling partners, and that means our team is growing to meet the needs. So there's a lot of fun to be had. And then, of course, you'll see us all around at all the different trade shows and places where you can come see the kits, sometimes on trucks, sometimes on a display case, but we'd love to chat with anyone.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's great. We'd love to end the show too on a positive note. So
Yeah.
maybe tell us what you're most optimistic about in 2024.
Ooh, most optimistic about in 2024. I'll stick with it here. I am very optimistic. We have been hiring some amazing people. We're going to be hiring more. And the power of this crew as they're getting up to speed is something I haven't really seen before. So unleashing them out to the world, I'm very excited about. And the decarbonization efforts, there's a few big over-the-road fueling tanks, private fueling tanks for some customers, and we're about to see their use percentage. We can do about 90% of a runtime. You can be running on bio. So we're about to see carbon not added to the environment by not using a petroleum diesel really skyrocket end of Q1 through the year. And whenever I see that number, we have a wall here. When we watch it go up, I'm just like tears because it's happening. It's really happening. And we're going to start announcing some of those numbers. So I'm excited for the world to see what we've been working on.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're excited to stay in touch, and please keep us posted. We love what you're doing, and really appreciate you joining us on the hot seat today.
Thanks, Meg. It was a nice warm seat. It wasn't too hot.
Perfect. Just the way we like it.
There we
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.